Right now, I am stuck in what I call the halfway valley of quitting, teetering on the brink of giving it all up. You see, even though I have lost 31 pounds, in the last 3 weeks, zip, nado, nothing, no movement, and the food noise, the cravings, the food fantasies, they are non-stop 24/7, more powerful than they have ever been. And this is the most dangerous stage of the journey. The honeymoon's over. The excitement of the first 30 pounds is gone, but I still have 27 to go, so I'm not close enough to my goal to stay motivated. And this is exactly where most of us quit. Not because what we're doing doesn't work, not because our body's broken, but because the addict brain sees an opening and it pounces. In this video, I'm going to give you the 2 mental strategies that I'm going to start using to survive this stall and stay on track, because I refuse to end up back in the carb ditch again. If you've ever felt like giving up right when you should keep going, this one's for you. Hi, I'm Sharrell. I'm 65, living in the mountains of central Mexico with my husband Andy and my service dog Sebastian. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not an Instagram success story. I'm just a retiree who has spent 45 years on the 100-pound weight loss roller coaster. Last year, Women's World magazine featured me 3 times for losing 100 pounds. And right when the photographer left, I started gaining, and I gained 50 back and realized something bigger was happening. I developed non-stop food noise, cravings, and food fantasies, and I couldn't get rid of them, even on Carnivore. So I started this channel to find answers, stay accountable, and build a community of people like me, people who refuse to let food quietly steal their retirement dreams. If you can have a slice of cake without triggering days of cravings, this video, it's not for you. But if you can win at everything else in life and still fail repeatedly with food, welcome. You are in the right place. So what exactly is this halfway valley of quitting? It's that brutal middle ground where you've lost enough weight to no longer be giddy from the progress you've made, but you haven't lost enough to feel like you're almost done and on the home stretch. You aren't special to yourself anymore. Think about it. When Andy and I finally knew we were back out of the carb ditch after 18 freaking months, every pound felt like a victory. But somewhere around the 25 to 30 pound mark, something shifts. The dopamine hit from the scale gets smaller. Your brain stops celebrating and starts pointing out how slow the progress is, questioning whether deprivation is worth it, especially around a stall. And that's where I am right now. Instead of going out with Sebastian and Andy to experience one of the biggest holidays in Mexico, something I'd been looking forward to for months, I found myself in lockdown, writing a script about why. The script here, because instead of looking forward to seeing the families out and about, hearing the talented musicians, appreciating the art brought from all over Mexico to town, I was fixated on what food was going to be out there. And even knowing I could go with no money in my pocket, I knew I would only be seeing and smelling food, food, food. When I say I know this valley is dangerous, I'm not speaking theoretically. I've been there before, more times than I can count. And I have seen what happens when you don't make it through. Right now, my brain is whispering all kinds of lies. Maybe carnivore isn't working anymore. You need a break to reset your metabolism with carbs. Maybe you should try fat fasting with carnivore ice cream and air-fried fat bites. The addict brain sees the stall and thinks it's found evidence that I should give up. But here's what I know, that the addict part of my brain is trying to make me forget. This valley exists for everyone. It's not proof that I'm failing. It's proof I'm on the right track and on the brink of succeeding for good. My addict brain is desperate and it is fighting for its life. Let me be completely honest about what these last 3 weeks have looked like. I've followed my repetitive meal plan with no deviation from carnivore. I have cut my Diet Coke with sparkling water, something I swore I would never do. I've resisted cutting calories and stayed steady with my TDEE recommendations. And the scale? It hasn't budged, not even 2 ounces. In diet culture, this is where we're told, eat less, move more, cut calories, add cardio, punish your body into submission. But that's not the carnivore way, and frankly, it's not sustainable. So I can't eat less and move more. So what am I supposed to do with all this frustration? What am I supposed to do when my brain starts telling me that 3 weeks of no progress means the whole thing's broken? And when the food fantasies are so loud that I can barely think straight and have had to lock myself in the house, this is the stall trap. Our brains are pattern-seeking machines. And when the pattern of consistent weight loss gets interrupted, we panic. We think we need to do something different, when really, we need to think something different. The first mental strategy that I'm implementing today is what I call the observer mindset. Instead of being frustrated, I'm going to step back and look at my own life like a documentary filmmaker. Because you know what? If my best friend came to me and said, in the past few months, I've lost 31 pounds, but in the past 3 weeks, I've stalled out and I'm going crazy with cravings, and so I'm thinking about quitting. You know what I would tell her. I would tell her, don't be ridiculous. 3 weeks is nothing in the context of the rest of your life and making change and finally succeeding. And I'd remind her that bodies are not vending machines. You don't put in perfect carnivore eating and get out exactly 2 pounds every week. And I would tell her that intense cravings during a stall are actually normal. It's her brain's last-ditch effort to get her to quit. But when it happens to us, we lose our own perspective. And so I've got to step back, wake up, know I'm going to be frustrated, and take control, be more objective, tell myself like I would my friend. If you were going through this exact same thing, what would I tell you? And then I got to take that advice. And I got to start journaling with more curiosity instead of judgment and frustration. Because what if my body is healing and the scale's not moving, but other things are resetting after years of yo-yo dieting? What if my hormones are rebalancing after the stress of that 50-pound regain, lose it, regain it? I don't know the answer. What if my fingers are healing? I need to be more curious and ask these kinds of questions instead of just being so frustrated and feeling like a failure. Act like I am a case study, like I'm a client or a friend, and that what they're going through, what I'm going through, is normal. Now, this mindset shift, it's not going to make the frustration disappear, but I'm hoping it'll make it manageable and turn me from a victim of circumstances into a scientist studying them and then sharing with you. The second mental strategy is what I call evidence collection. When the scale stops moving, and I know this, our brains want to conclude nothing is working. But that's because I've made the scale the judge and jury of my progress, and I knew better, but it's inevitable. So right now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start keeping a daily list of non-scale victories, and I mean daily, not just when I remember, not just when I feel better, but every single day, because last month, even though the scale only went down 5 pounds, I lost over an inch off my waist, and that is proof that carnivore is working in my body. And while writing this script, I went back and took a screenshot of me in my first video on this channel just a few months ago. And I made myself see and acknowledge that my body is in fact transforming, not just in the way the scale measures. Here's the truth. The scale measures your relationship with gravity. It doesn't measure your health, your energy, your mental clarity, or your overall progress, and I need my ears to hear it. It's just a data point. It's not the whole story. But our brains are wired to fixate on that number because it's concrete and immediate. Building the habit of collecting other evidence takes intentional effort, but it is going to be crucial to survive this valley of quit. Here's the bigger truth that I'm holding on to with dear life. This stall doesn't mean carnivore stopped working. It means my body's human. Weight loss isn't linear, never has been, never will be. And if you have been on this journey for any amount of time, you know this intellectually. But when you're living through a stall, that knowledge can feel pretty useless. What's going to help me is remembering my own story. I lost 70 pounds in 2023. I regained 50 in 2024. The carnivore approach didn't stop working. I stopped using it. I went in the carb ditch. I got carb ditch results. The only real failure in this entire process would be quitting. Not stalls, not plateaus, not temporary setbacks. Quitting. Right now, even though the scale isn't moving, I'm building something much, much more valuable than quick weight loss. I'm building mental resilience to stick with something even when it's not giving me immediate gratification. I'm proving to myself that I can trust the process, even when the process doesn't look like what I want it to look like. This is the unsexy part about transformation, and it's not about dramatic before and after photos or shocking weight loss numbers. It's about becoming the kind of person who does not quit when things get boring or frustrating or tough. And if you're watching this and you are in your own halfway valley of quitting, whether it's carnivore, keto, or whatever approach you have chosen, I want you to know that you are not alone. This valley is real. It is hard, and your frustration is valid. But please don't let your addict brain win. Don't let a temporary stall convince you to throw away the progress you have made. Use these two mental strategies, the observer mindset and evidence collection. And remember, the only way out of this valley is through it, not around it. And it's not about willpower. It's about understanding your own brain and body and to help you decode what your body is telling you. I created something I wish I had 30 years ago. It's a free 18-page guide called The Body Warning System Your Doctor Never Taught You. It helps you spot inflammation, sugar addiction, and other hidden conditions like lipedema that most doctors overlook. Just drop checklist down in the comments and I will send you the link. And also, drop a comment below if you are walking through your own valley right now, because we can support each other through this unsexy middle part of the journey. It's not about hacks, it's about hope. The second half of life deserves strategies built for the second half of life. And I invite you to be part of this community where we support each other and finally get off these freaking weight loss roller coaster forever. One day at a time, one meal at a time. We can do it. And if you're still stuck in the carb ditch, check out the playlist tracking our journey week by week, showing exactly how we climbed out. Because you know what? Seeing our struggles and our wins could make your climb a lot easier. Give it a watch. What do you have to lose?